are someone who dreams of becoming a corporate lawyer, understanding the law is just the beginning. What truly sets you apart is knowing which law actually governs the business world and how to apply them. In this video, we are breaking down the 10 most important laws that every corporate lawyer in India must know, with real-world examples to help you connect theory with the practice. First up is Companies Act 2013. This is the backbone of Indian corporate law. It governs how companies are formed, managed, and dissolved. If we talk about an example, if a company wants to increase its share capital or appoint a new director, it must follow the procedures outlined in this act. A corporate lawyer ensures that these changes are compliant and legally recorded with the Registrar of Company. Second up is Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. For businesses that prefers a flexible structure but want the protection of limited liability, LLPs are the go-to. For example, if two consulting professionals wants to start a venture without risking personal assets, a lawyer can help them register an LLP, draft the LLP agreement, and ensure ongoing compliance. Third up is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. This law helps creditors and companies deal with insolvency in a time-bound manner. For example, if a company can't repay loans, a corporate lawyer may help file an application under IBC, assist in the resolution process, or represent the stakeholders before the NCLT. Fourth law that we'll be talking about is Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. This law regulates all foreign investments, remittances, and cross-border transactions in India. For example, if a foreign company wants to invest in an Indian startup, the corporate lawyer ensures that the FDI complies with FEMA regulations and RBI reporting requirements. Next up that we'll be discussing is Competition Act 2002. This law ensures that markets remain fair and competitive. An example for this would be if two large companies plan to merge, a corporate lawyer must check whether the deal could lead to market dominance and whether it needs approval from Competition Commission of India. Next up is Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. This law governs instruments like checks, promissory notes, and bills of exchange. An example for this would be that if a business check bounces, corporate lawyers help their clients send legal notices and, if required, file proceedings under Section 138 of the Act. Next up is Industrial Dispute Act 1947. This law covers employee-related matter in the corporate world. Strikes, layoff, retrenchment, and dispute resolutions are also covered here. For example, if a company is restructuring and laying off workers, a corporate lawyer ensures that all legal procedures like compensation and notice, etc., are properly followed to avoid any litigation. Next up is Goods and Service Tax Laws. GST is India's unified indirect tax system applied on the supply of goods and services. An example here is when a company launches a new product or enters a new state, a corporate lawyer ensures correct GST classification, compliance, and registration to avoid penalties. Next up is SEBI Regulations, Securities and Exchange Board of India, and this law applies to companies that are listed or planning to raise money from the public. So if a company is planning an IPO, the corporate lawyer assists in drafting the prospectus, ensuring full disclosure, and making sure SEBI's listing and disclosure requirements are met. Last but not the least is Indian Contract Act 1872. Contracts are the heart of all business activities, and this law governs how they are created, enforced, and what happens when they are breached. An example would be whether it's a vendor agreement, a service level contract, or a merger document, a corporate lawyer must draft, negotiate, and enforce contracts that protects their client's interest. These 10 laws aren't just the theory. They are the tools you will use every day as a corporate lawyer. Whether you are working on merger and acquisition, drafting an agreement, ensuring compliance, or representing clients before regulators, these are the pillars of your legal toolkit. If you are studying law or planning a corporate law career, start familiarizing yourself with these acts, read case studies, take up internships in corporate legal teams, and try applying this knowledge in practical situations. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about learning the law, it's knowing how to use it. If this helped you, share it with a fellow law student or aspirant and let us know in the comment section which law you would like us to break down next for you.